Hey guys, I just come on live just to talk about a couple things that I did want to go over eventually. Just kind of chit-chatting. I have the day off, kind of an easy day, and I wanted to come on and chit-chat if people want to come in and chit-chat or not. Let's see. Um, but I kind of wanted to go over Bitcoin a little bit because I've noticed a lot of channels that I used to support and that I still do support Bitcoin. I've always had a bad feeling about Bitcoin. I don't know why. I don't like Bitcoin. I don't know why I don't like Bitcoin. I just have a bad gut feeling about it. And when I have a bad gut feeling about it, I steer away from it. The more that I've learned about Bitcoin, which isn't really that much to be honest, but my gut feeling tells me that Bitcoin or something like Bitcoin, a digital currency, um, is going to be the new one when the new world order sets in. Something like Bitcoin or Bitcoin itself is going to be the new currency. I mean, we already kind of have digital money in a way, in a sense, if you look at our credit card and debit cards. But I really do feel like that. But the problem with Bitcoin is I think eventually it's just going to be set. Certain people are going to have their certain set of money that they're going to get. It's not going to be based off of how hard you work, what your hourly wage is. This is just an assumption. I don't know for sure. This is just my personal opinion of how it could end up happening. I could be totally wrong. Like I said, I'm just on here to chit chat, talk, whatever. But I really do feel like Bitcoin or something of the sort of Bitcoin is going to be, and it's going to be completely digital. And there's going to be it's going to be a set income for everybody. They're going to start off at, we're going to give you this, everybody's going to get this set income, and you can work if you want more. But then eventually it's just going to be when the New World Order completely sets all the way in. Because then people just expect, like, the New World Order to just, it's just gonna, oh my God, one day we wake up and the New World Order is gonna be in set and it's here now. You know what I mean? This is a gradual process. It could take 10 years, it could take 50 years, it could take 100 years before the New World Order is all the way set in stone and applied. But how I feel that it will happen is they're going to try to get rid of our debit and credit cards. It's going to end up being all digital, and we are going to all have a set income. They are going to control how much money you have, when you get it, and how you spend it. It's not going to be, oh, you earn this amount of money. Plus, because we're so far in debt, they're going to want to control the money intake and the money outtake a lot more than what they do now. And that's just my personal feeling on it. I don't know exactly how it's all going to go down, but it's going to be somewhere along that lines. How I feel, how the new world currency is going to take effect, and how it's going to slowly process into all digital currency. And Bitcoin is a big red flag to me on how they're prepping people to get ready for a digital currency like Bitcoin or whatever they want to call it. I'm sure they'll call it something different than Bitcoin. Hey Ian, thanks for coming in. It's so nice seeing you. Hi Churchy. Churchy says, it's already digital now, really? Yeah, we have paper if people want it, but Your bank account credit is still stored and updated digitally, same as Bitcoin, etc. Yeah, that's see, they're already switching us. They've been prepping this for us for a long time. And eventually, especially when stuff goes down, they're going to implement the RFID chip. I know people are like, "Well, the mark of the beast is not the chip. It's what you have in your mind and what you're doing, the right hand symbolizes power and what you do with your work and things like that." I totally understand that concept and I agree. In a sense, that is the mark of the beast. If you're not reading the word and you don't have the word in your mind and you don't have the spirit inside and you're not doing good works, then you might as well have the mark of the beast. I mean, to me, I totally understand that concept, but I also believe in my gut. What my gut is telling me, they're also prepping us for a chip. I don't throw the RFID, I think RF whatever chip out the window because I'm not, I don't know for sure if that, it says that you're not going to be able to buy or sell without this. And that's what makes me think that it's more, the mark of the beast is more than just the spiritualness of having the word in your brain and doing works like the right hand being the power, symbolizing power of your works and things like that. Yes, that is true. And you might as well, you're doomed if you don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, you're really doomed. So you might as well already have the mark of the beast, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, but I do believe that the chip will implement itself later on. Um, and I do, and it maybe it won't be the mark of the beast, but it's to personally what's going to happen is we're going to get a new world order. They're already calling for peace right now, right? We've already did the whole peace thing. So that's set. So the new world order is in the process. They've been talking about it for a while now, and now Trump has been fulfilling the new world order. It's happening right before our eyes. And a lot of people think that it's just going to happen overnight. No, but it is happening. And I think that the Bible is pretty I mean it tells us in the Bible that we're not going to be able to buy or sell without this mark. Um and the Bible is not going to be a form of currency. You know what I mean? So that's where I understand that concept, but I also feel like you can't just throw the chip out the window because the chip is going to be implemented. When we get our digital currency and we start seeing that our economy is collapsing, which it is already right now, but if when it actually collapses for good, they're going to have a set amount of money that they're going to give each of us. And I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but that I feel like is going to happen. Then when things hit the fan, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction is going to happen. And they're already saying peace and safety right now. Donald Trump just signed a peace treaty of nuclear weapons with Kim Jong-un, or however you say his name. Is it Kim Jong of North Korea? And that very well could be where the Bible talks about. There's going to be rumors of wars, and we've been hearing that this whole time. Rumors of war, rumors of wars, rumors of wars, rumors of wars. Then, what's it say? There's going to be peace and safety. They're going to say peace and safety. That's what they're doing right now. Peace and safety on this nuclear warfare. And then sudden destruction. But I think there's a lot that has to happen before that sudden destruction. I think we're going to have the digital currencies going to come into effect. We're going to have set wages are going to come into effect. Not even wages, just set money that they're going to give us individually. Because our economy is going to get so bad that they're not going to be able to give us even what we earn as an hourly wage or salary or whatever. They're not going to be able, companies are not going to be able to do that either. And it's just going to completely fall into the hands of, well, we got to do something. And that's when our set income's going to come in, our set digital currency is going to come in. It's going to be all digital. All of our credit cards are going to be gone. The bank and the governments are going to become even more tighter and more worse than it was. It's going to make it worse than it was. It's going to be a quick fix. They're going to seem like, "Oh, it's a quick fix. We're just going to put a band-aid over it. We're just going to give everybody a set amount of money so we don't run out of money." And so corporations and stuff don't run out of money. And then that way it'll be fixed. And that's what they're going to say. And it's going to implement. And then some destruction's going to happen. And like I said, this is my personal opinion. I'm sure a lot more things are going to happen in between those gaps. But then, war's going to happen. Even though they've said peace and safety with this nuclear war and everything but then sudden destruction is going to happen and chaos is going to set in. And there's going to have to martial law is going to take effect in America in those times of war. And what's going to happen is people are going to go to FEMA camps, and at first the chip is not going to be implemented right off. These are going to be steps. It's steps. It's not just one world order just happens like that. It's going to be gradual steps and events that take place is going to be steps. And then so the martial law is going to take an effect because we're going to have war. I don't know if it's going to be nuclear or not, but it's going to be war in America. It's going to be rough in America here soon. And I think our government is trying to ease our minds right now because there's been rumors of war for a while now. And I really do think Donald Trump and the government is trying to ease our minds with these peace treaties and these peace deals of nuclear nuclear weapons right now. And I really do think that this could very well be what the Bible is talking about of peace before destruction. And so then destruction will happen. And when it does happen, martial law will take into effect. They will be taking people to FEMA camps. They will be taking people to other base camps that are not FEMA related. I think there will be more than one group of military. There'll be a fake military, and then there will be the real U.S. government military. If that makes sense. Because there's going to be people that are going to fake that they're a FEMA camp. For their own, you'd be surprised how evil people can be even in these times of stress and warfare. That, again, that's just my personal opinion. I think there's going to be more than just FEMA camps. There's going to be a lot of other oddball camps, too, that people are going to be taken to, that are not going to be run necessarily by the government. There might be government-like people there, but I'm just getting a feeling that there's going to be other kind of camps out there when martial law takes into effect, and that it's not going to just be FEMA. And when that happens, I mean, there are billions and billions and billions of people in the world. And when that happens, they're going to have a hard time counting everybody. And they're going to count people. They're going to count all these people. Let's make sure that we have how many people are coming in, how many people are running away, you know, do we need, then they're going to run after these people that run away because they're going to want the, even in the midst of bad warfare in America, that's going to happen, I feel like soon. They're going to want to count people and they're going to want to keep track of people. And when that happens, that's when the RFD chip's going to take into effect because they're going to have such a hard time keeping track of people that they're going to say, we don't have any other way of keeping track of these people. We need to chip them. Just like you chip a dog. Just like you chip a dog when you lose your dog. And, yeah, mandatory direct deposit. Yes. And so with the chip, that's how I feel like the chip's going to be implemented. And, eventually it's going to come back to these camps, these FEMA camps, these and other oddball camps are going to have food and water. They're only going to have so much food and water, but it's going to start out as we've got food and water, and if you don't take the chip, because we have to count you guys, we have to keep track of how many people are here and how many people are lost. So if you don't take the chip, then we're not going to be able to offer you food, water, supplies. And they've been slowly just conforming to digital currency. And, thanks for coming in, Daniel. I watched your video. Oh my gosh. Since you're here, I want to talk to you, Daniel. I hope you have a little bit of time on your hands because I know you're a busy guy. I watched your video about the Southern Baptist, about the newspaper that you talked about, and I want to tell you what happened to me the other day. I was listening. The church that I got baptized at is a big Southern Baptist church, and I got baptized there, and I've had a lot of issues with the Southern Baptists. They're really stuck up, and they're very nosy, and they're very judgmental, and but I'll always love my church because that's where I got baptized at and stuff like that. So I always, no matter how judgmental they are, I try to respect that that's where the Father, wanted me baptized. And I did learn a lot through the Baptist church, the church that I went to. But I also, my church went through my pastor was going through a divorce. And basically he got up on stage and because there was, of course, with a big church and a lot of people, with any people, rumors, you know what I mean? Rumors emerge and word gets around. And so my pastor got up on stage and he wanted to clear all the confusion and the rumors. And he basically said that, yes, me and my wife are going through problems, and she screwed up. He didn't really say whether, like, she cheated on him or not, but basically he threw his wife under the bus right on stage. And, sorry guys, this is kind of off topic, but I wanted to talk to Daniel about this. And so that happened, okay? And then I noticed later on that he put his ring back on, his ring finger back on. And I asked some people that I knew there, did they get back together? And they said, well, they're working on it. They're working on things. And then the other day, I've been watching sermons, and here lately my church has been spending money on props, like stage props, like big, huge stage props. That I'm like, why are you guys wasting the Lord's money on stage props? Like, I mean, big stage props. And then, okay, so I was kind of worried about that. And then the other day I was watching one where he has this big stage prop and it's a map of the town. And one part of the map on the town says date night or whatever. And in the background it's like little rockets, but they look like penises. And that kind of was weird to me. And then I had like this flash image. I was literally watching the sermon and watching my pastor talk about God. And I had this vision, and I thought, oh my God, this must be bad or of the devil because, you get bad thoughts, that race. Everybody has those, okay? And I'm very honest. And I did. I had this visualization that my pastor was having sex with another woman. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe I thought that, like, oh my gosh. And then, so I was like, I quit watching the sermon and I immediately, I saw that Daniel had, poor Pilgrim, had a new video up. So I went over, I had that vision and then all of a sudden my pastor started talking about sex. And I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this. So I went somewhere else and I started watching. I saw that Daniel had a new video up. So I started watching your video and you had the newspaper out about the Southern Baptist congregation. Now, my pastor is really big about every year he goes to the big kudos guys of the Southern Baptist congregation and they get together and they talk about whatever they talk about. And so my pastor is affiliated with these people that you were talking about, Daniel. And when you said that the guy on the newspaper about the article about them having marital issues, I was like, "Oh my God." And then you had a comment on there, one of the on the paper said that he said that women should just power through physical abuse in a marriage because you know what I mean, like you're once you're binded and you're just supposed to deal with it, right? And you're like, no, Daniel was like, "No, that's not right. You know, women should not have to deal with physical abuse." And so it was just confirmation for me that I don't think my church is really going in the right direction. And I'm really worried about my pastor and what they're doing. Um, to me, it's awfully strange to be having a date night at a church and then to see in a newspaper that the Southern Baptists struggle with marital issues and I don't know. To me, it's really worrisome to have those visions and then to all of these things to confirmation. And I really worry about if maybe my pastor might be involved with some sexual things that he shouldn't be doing. But yeah, I just don't know if I mean, date night? You're having a date night at church? I mean, come on. Are we a dateline now? I mean, is this church or are we on a dateline? So Daniel, when you did your video about reading that newspaper, it was big confirmation to me that my church is really fallen and they're falling hard and I really hope that they fall hard onto their head and I hope it hurts really bad. Maybe they'll wake up. Seen a lot of churches start correlating dating in with the church and it's got me worried. It makes me wonder if they have other intentions. Not that maybe they don't. Maybe my church doesn't have other intentions. I don't want to judge my church. I love my church, but it's awful strange to have those visions and then immediately go over to Daniel's channel and have confirmation that he's literally reading out of the paper about the Southern Baptist congregation that I know my pastor goes to, and they're doing date night. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of got me worried. It's kind of got me worried. Um, they don't talk a whole lot about the rapture. They really don't talk a whole. My Pacific church does not talk a whole lot about the rapture. So I don't really know exactly how they feel about the rapture. Um, I wanted to say some other just other things that I learned about some other things. The Masons, I realized the number 33. A lot of people are saying the 33 and the Masons and stuff. I researched on that a little bit, and it correlates with the vertebrae of the chakra, the seven chakras, and that's Hindu. The pineal gland also correlates with the seven chakras. One of the seven chakras is up here, the pineal gland. And the Masons also celebrate the pineal gland in a sense because the 33rd level of the Masons represents the spine of the vertebrae of the human and the enemy serpent. I also somehow this is literally part of a new age movement. I've noticed a lot of people are really big into the chakra and meditating with the chakra. Bad news, guys. Bad news. And when I realized that the 33rd level of the vertebrae is the pineal gland, and the Masons correlate with the 33rd vertebrae, that makes a lot of sense to me of how the Masons are brainwashing and are not good news either. How all of this stuff correlates together, you guys, and the devil uses all of this to be a part of the New Age movement. And this is, I'm talking about cultural wise now, not government, but you know what I mean? Cultural wise, this is part of the New Age movement. Hindu is a big part of the New Age culture of religion movement right now. Big, big part of it. I also on a channel that I watch that's called God Rules, and Lisa Haven also went over this too, that they have found a document that has surfaced that they're using microwave brain control. And I saw how they showed how it works. And they're saying that maybe the gun violence that's been happening in our, how every single person that's went and shut up a school or whatever has said that they said a voice told them to do it. A voice told them to do it. Well, they have the technology to do that. They have the technology with the microwave to at a certain distance, and the documents have surfaced to prove the technology that they are using microwave brain control on anybody they want to. I mean, shoot, you might be able to take your own microwave and make it yourself. I don't know how they make one or how they do it for sure, but they were talking about how so many yards away they can, voice to skull. Voice to skull. How they can literally have people have thoughts of somebody telling them, go kill, or don't do this, or do this, or tell them what to do. EMF weapons. Thank you, Ian. I'm not very technologically spoken. I try to get all the words down, but thank you, Ian. Exactly. But yeah, it's really raised some concern for me about mind control, like real mind control, guys. That could very well be the mark of the beast. I mean, think about that. Our military could come in and just a radio wave frequency, and we're all down on our knees and controlled. But I also feel like that the seal that the Bible talks about, the seal of protection, it talks about the seal of protection being on our it talks about the mark of the beast being on our forehead, but it also talks about the seal of protection being on our forehead too. So I'm really, really hoping and praying that that means we're going to be protected from the brain microwave brain control as well. Ian says the soldier that shot up a military facility years ago scratched my elf weapon or something like that on his gun. Creepy. My elf. Melody. Hi, Melody. Hi, Allentown. I think Allentown, your name is Steven? Is that right? I'm sorry if I didn't get that right, Allentown. I'm trying to. Melody says, look at the crowd control weapons they've been testing at the riots across the country, literally bringing people to their knees. I know, it's got me really worried. Eric, I'm sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I really, to be honest, I forgot what your name was. So it's good to see you, Eric. Thanks for everybody coming in. Yeah, Melody, that's a really good point. Oh, your middle name is okay. That's at least I got it right somewhere. But yeah, that's a really a good, really, really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Melody, because yeah, that was they have, they've been trying to find other ways to control the population because they've realized that brainwashing and repetitiveness doesn't work on everybody. So what are we going to do for the people that repetitiveness and brainwashing isn't going to work on through television and music and other sources? Well, they're going to literally mind control us. Eventually, like I said, it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. But I really do. To be honest, that's a weapon we should really be worried about as well. Um, I already talked about how I used to add up numbers and how, that's not good. I watched a video. Um, I think it was on, I'm trying to remember, is Do What Thou Wilt. I think it was on Spy Kitten's video, or maybe it was on God Rules channel, but it was called Do What Thou Wilt. And the real agenda of the LGBT community. I do not like going over the LGBT community stuff because I don't like judging gay people. I do feel like gay people have a chance to be saved, and but I also do feel like the devil is in deep with the LGBT stuff. He's using the LGBT as a platform with a lot of other platforms. And the problem with it is, I saw this video that's called Do What Thou Wilt. There are kids dressing in drag in this video. Parents are throwing money at these kids like they're strippers. Can you believe this, guys? I am like, oh my God. If you cannot see that the devil is at work in that, then you are blind. They are infecting our kids now. I've never heard of my elf weapon. I'm gonna have to research on that a little bit, Ian. Um, but I was shocked. Because, I mean, it's one thing if, you want to dress and drag and you want to act like that's on you. But, oh, let's just, uh, let's just let our kids dress and drag and let's make a spectacle of it and throw money at them like they're frickin' strippers. It drives me nuts. I'm like, oh my God. I want to take every little kid and just, I don't know how, I wish I could just save these children. Like, I cry for the souls of these children, you guys, because they're so innocent. And these men are half naked with boobs, and oh my God, it's so horrible. And they're out there hugging these children half naked with their boobs. You can see their nipples and everything. And their parents are standing right there. Hello. Why do people think this is okay? Why? They're sitting there watching their children watch another kid and drag, dance, and get money thrown at them. And the parents are okay with it. What are you thinking as a parent? I just don't even understand what these people are thinking. What is going through your mind when you're watching your child do that? Even if your child says you're gay or whatever and you want to support your child, I get that. Okay, you want to support your child, they think they're gay. Okay, I understand that. I am not to judge that, and I won't judge that. But when you're sitting there watching your child, like literally slowly take some clothes off and, take a little scarf around their neck and throw it into the crowd like they're stripping. It's sick. And their parents are right there watching it. I don't see how. It just drives me nuts. I just don't get it. It's like, oh my God. And how they're using people like Taylor Swift and Katy Perry and all of these influential people in children's lives that they look up to. I mean, they tried to do that to me with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and all that crap. It's a good thing I didn't stay into pop music very long. Not that they're all that way, but, and we got cloning and DNA splicing and transhumanism and all this crap that I'm just like, you guys really don't see this? Like, are there no people that are. Where is our humanity? Where is it? Are we animals now? Even animals don't act like this, you guys. Animals don't even act like this. So when I see these things, you guys, not only does it, I mean, you can see it stresses me out. I'm like, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe that parents would throw their money at their children like they're strippers. It's another reason why I feel like a lot of this stuff's happening, guys. The devil is here and he's working and he's been here for a while. To be honest, I feel like he's already been sent and he's had his 1,000-year reign and it's almost up. 1,000 years ain't very long for the devil. That's just how I personally feel about it. People think that he hasn't fallen yet, that he hasn't been casted out yet. But to be honest, I feel like he's already been here for 1,000 years. If you look at the last 1,000 years and how it's progressed to where it is now, The devil has been at work hard these last 1,000 years. And it's now he really has a short time. He's on the end of his 1,000 years. This is my personal opinion, guys. He's on the end of his 1,000 years, and it's going to hit the fan soon. God's going to have to come down and take care of business soon. We have tribulation to go through first. I don't believe in a pre-trib rapture. Because when I read Revelation, it talks about believers having to overcome and endure till the end. Not endure till the beginning of tribulation. Endure till the end of tribulation. Me, there's not a pre-trib rapture. I do believe in a rapture, though. I don't think that the Father will have us go through when he actually fights the devil, and I mean the world. I mean, we're going to have to go through a lot of things, and we're going to be protected through tribulation. But somewhere towards the end of tribulation, we will be raptured. Because towards the end of tribulation, it's going to get so bad, you guys. I mean, really bad. I don't know how to say all the words. Pre-wrath, pre-trib, post, whatever. I don't, with the words. I'm a very simple-minded thinking person. But sorry, I'm not trying to sound rude or anything. I don't really get all caught up in the words because I've heard it said pre-wrath, pre-trib, post whatever, post this, post that. I don't label it. You know what I mean? I just say there is no rapture before tribulation, whatever that means, however you guys say it, or however it is said. But okay, good, because I don't want to sound like I'm being rude, or anything. 'Cause, I mean, you guys say whatever you want to say. I'm not judging you on that, but I just very simple-minded. I don't try to put a whole bunch of words to mean what I'm saying. But it's just with everything that's happened, I just really feel like the devil's been already has had his 1,000-year reign is almost up, you guys. It's almost up. Especially with the way the LGBT communities have is going on. All the other things that I talked about, digital currency coming into effect, New World Order, New World Movement, all this stuff just increasing, more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? And, we had, just so much stuff that's just happened over these thousands of years that it's just progressed into what it is now, that I just feel like the devil's been hard at work and his time is almost up, and tribulation's going to start soon. I don't know when tribulation is going to start, and I don't know exactly when rapture is going to happen. I do feel like the rapture will happen towards end of tribulation, and we're going to have to, Christians, like the way the Christians had to hide before, or I should say believers, but it's going to be a lot like that again. We're going to have to hide. Like they hid in those underground tunnels, we're going to have to hide too. Because FEMA's going to come take everybody. And, but, a lot of this is my personal opinion. So, it's never set in stone in my mind because a lot of things could happen that could change my mind, or somebody might say something and I'm like, oh, wow, that makes sense. And, maybe I didn't get this right or I didn't get that concept right. Because it's all really speculation at this point because it's so fresh right now with the way the New World Order is being implemented. And there's still a lot of mystery involved and a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to exactly how it's all going to pan out. But I do know that God gave me the dreams that he gave me. And he gave them to me in an order for a reason. The first dream I had was bombs going off in America, and a lot of people died in the bombs. I don't know if it's nuclear bombs. To me, it didn't feel like a nuclear bomb. It felt like a regular bomb that was just to take out that particular city. And I think that more than one city is going to be hit at the same time. I don't know what cities, but I know that the city that I was in was Kansas City, Missouri. And that's where I felt like I was. And that particular city in my dream got hit by a bomb. It wasn't a nuclear bomb, but I do feel like that a lot of cities, not just Kansas City, got hit. So that was my first dream. The second dream I had was earthquakes. We're going to have a lot of earthquakes. We're going to have a lot of volcanoes. We think we got a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes now. Just wait. Wait until war starts. Then it's going to even be more volcanoes, more earthquakes. Then after that one, I had a dream about a pole shift. Both of these were in the same dream, but the pole shift happened first in the dream. Now, was it a drastic pole shift? Maybe it was only like 10% of a pole shift. But pole shift. Then the last part of the dream that I had with the pole shift was wormwood hit the planet, and it took 2/3, or what is it? Yeah, only 2/3 gone, 1/3 left. And wormwood did that in that dream. The very end part of that third dream was wormwood hitting the planet. And it did. It consumed half of the water, half of the earth, half of the ground. It really did. Or maybe it's more than half, 3/4. I can't remember exactly the amount, but it really did. When it hit, I remember looking back in my dream, and when it hit, it really did. And it was so big, all I could see was this huge curve. That's all I could see was this huge, huge curve in the sky. Like huge. Like horizon to horizon, as far as I could see, curve. And when it hit, the water went up as a huge tsunami. The dirt went up like a huge. Everything was consumed. Everything was consumed. But that's just, those are the dreams that the Father in heaven gave me. And that's the only reason why I feel like that's how it's going to take place. That we're going to have war. We're going to, not necessarily nuclear. We're going to have earthquakes and volcanoes worse than we're having now. Way worse than we're having now. Like really big earthquakes. I mean big ones that are going to shake a whole state, you guys. Not just, oh yeah, we felt it. We felt it a little bit in Utah or wherever. No. You're going to fit, I mean, it's going to be like we have like our earthquake scale. We've got 1 to 10, I think it is. These earthquakes are going to be beyond our scale. They're going to be like when Jesus died on the cross and it says that the whole earth shook, that's what it's going to be like. He's going to shake it again. And it's going to be way higher of an earthquake on the Richter scale than we've ever seen, or whatever the scale name is. It's going to be like a 50 or 150 on the Richter scale. Like, whole states are going to be able to feel it. And then eventually the whole world is going to feel it. It's going to get that bad, guys. It's going to get really bad before he actually comes down and takes and kills Satan and sends him to hell for good. And then heaven will come to earth. Heaven will be established on earth. And then that's when it's over. There will be no pain, there'll be no crying, there'll be no sorrow, and what a day that'll be. especially with everything that we're going through now and everything that we're going to have to endure in the future. We've already been having to endure a little tiny bitty bitty bit, but that is nothing compared to what we're going to have to endure as believers. And you think your faith is being tested now? Just wait until tribulation. I mean, it's really going to come down to you either take the chip or you don't get into a FEMA camp. You don't get water. You don't get food. You don't get shelter. You don't get nothing. And if you run and hide and they find you, they're going to make you go. They will force people to take this chip. And if you don't take it, they will execute you. It might get to the point where they will execute you. Um, and it'll get to the point where it's either you deny Christ, Yeshua, or we're going to shoot your niece, or we're going to shoot your mom. Are you willing to watch your mom or your niece die right in front of your face for Yeshua? That is the reality of it, you guys, of what it could end up being like for us in this generation. Could be. Maybe it's the following generation. I don't know. But, because I don't set dates, I don't know the day or the hour, I don't know. But I do see how things are progressing, and we do have to ask ourselves. We do have to ask ourselves. If it gets to the point where somebody has a gun to one of your family members, and it comes down to denying the Father, or that person dies. And you have to see that person that you love die right in front of you. And I can't remember who it was, but he said, if that does happen, then let him do it. Because it's only 30 seconds, and then you're with the Father in heaven. And the person that they shot, your niece or your mom or whoever, they're with the Father in heaven. So what's 30 seconds? You know, of somebody, cutting your head off, or you know what I mean? Like, what compared to eternal suffering in hell? I mean, we really do have to think about these things. We really do. And it's rough. It's not easy thinking about that. Like, I literally almost cried saying that my niece and my mom, like, literally, that's hard. It's a hard reality to think about, but it's true. It could happen. We have to choose, though. We have to choose. And a lot of people say, I would die. I would die. I would die for Christ. I would die for the Father. If they want to come kill me. But what if it comes to some of your loved ones? I mean, sure, you might be okay with dying, but what if it comes to one of your loved ones? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we have to think about these things, guys. It is, as hard as and dark as it is to think about, it's just, it could happen, you guys. It really could. Everything in the sea is dying. And the Bible talks about the sea, everything dying in the sea, and the water turning to blood, and that could happen really soon here, the way we're going. The sky too, churchy. Birds die off all over as well. The birds are getting worse and worse in years. The birds have been dying off more and more and more, it seems like. There's been a lot of anomalies happening too. We're gonna see a lot of anomalies happening too, and it's going to wash. Okay, Ian says Aaron Alexis, Washington Navy Yard. That is the person who up and just got. I gotta look that up because that's interesting. I'm kind of researching. I'm trying to research on the mind control thing right now and the mind control weapons because they are really. They've been working on them for some time now, but now they're actually. I feel like, unfortunately, they are actually using it against innocent people right now. Churchy says to Melody, and sinkholes, cracks, we could go on so many things going on that are weird and not normal at all. It's not on the news though. No, they're really cracking down hard on letting people know about the information because they want us to live comfortable. They don't want us to know these things. They don't want us, because when people start living in fear, bad things happen. So they don't, they want that control as well. And plus, when a whole bunch of people start acting fearful, I mean, they start rioting and burning up buildings, and fear is not a good thing with when it comes to a whole organization of people. Melody says, well, Churchy, if you ever want to have a conversation, okay, they will, and choose death with a smile. I promise you won't feel a thing. Don't be afraid. You won't feel it. Sing them hymns as you watch them die and wait for your turn. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be rough, guys. It's gonna get rough. But I just kind of wanted to, there were some things that I wanted to go over that I meant to go over before, and I noticed in my notebook that I was like, wow, I really kind of wanted to talk about the chakra. I wanted to talk about the brainwave, microwave control that they've been working on and experimenting on with other people. They're correlating that to the people that have been shooting up people in churches and other things. Um, and the LGBT stuff, that's just totally the work of the devil. And the Illuminati, which is totally the work of the devil and stuff like that. So that's really all I wanted to say. I have today off, and I really just kind of wanted to chit chat with you guys. To be what's as to be in the moment, to, like you were saying, sing a little hymn or whatever. It's going to be hard in the moment, even for really strong believers, to see the light through all this darkness. But we have to, no matter how hard it gets, we have to make sure that we keep our faith strong, keep your full armor on. And the more that you have your armor on, the more that the devil is going to attack you. God did not give us a full armor of God to not be attacked. I mean, you don't put armor on to waltz around and just, oh, I mean, you put armor on because you're going to battle. When you put armor on, you're getting ready to ride into battle when you're putting it on. And you're not putting that armor on just for fun. So we need to make sure we have that on every single day, that we're reading the word every single day, or when we can, and praising him and praying for others and being there for each other and uplifting each other. And we just and I've seen a lot of things in my church recently that's happened that I'm not quite sure that the devil's trying to get in there. And he's just pulling every single string he's got right now, you guys. He's pulling every single string he got right now. And we have to be aware of that, and we have to be wise, and we have to keep our armor on. And God will let us know. He will let us know what's true and what's not true. He will let us know where we need to hide, where we need to be. He's already telling me where I need to be right now. Right now. Yeshua that he does that for me. Like, I will literally go, where am I gonna go next? Tell me where to go. Forest or BLM land. Some of them are national monument land. But I will literally, I will find a road that's in a national, and I'll most of the time I'll get a feeling or get confirmation that says, you know what, this road right here you'll be safe on and you can find a camping spot. And I'm like, hey. And then I drive 4 or 5 hours down the road and it's not a camping spot, but there's like this perfect little spot that I can drive off into the grass. Just because it doesn't have a fire pit there doesn't mean that that's not where the Father, you know what I mean? Like, the Father in weird spots that you're like, okay, trust in Him for us and what's safest for us. And in these days, we're really gonna have to listen to Him. He's gonna tell us where to hide, where to go. Really pray and listen to what He's telling us. And don't forget what He did for Elijah in the forest. When all that stuff, and He said, I want you to go to the woods and go to the creek, and I will send crows, I think it was, or ravens to feed you. The wrath went through with that town. I'm trying to remember the town that Elijah fled. And God told him, oh, no. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little chit chat for coming in and saying hi and your comments. And I really value your guys' opinions and your support. Melody says, he will take us and we will die and him feel anything. So easy to just sing. I really don't fear the pain. I believe I won't feel it, and you won't either. Um, to be a lot of us that are going to be tortured. We're going to be put in prison. I don't think all of us are going to have it short and sweet and our head gets cut off and like it's scary. And yes, you're going to be scared, but keep in mind in that particular it will be quick and swift. You won't feel much pain. You won't. And no matter how much pain we endure or don't endure, it's in on in. It's still not even close to the torment of hell. Not even stuff like that. So I'm here and I gotta go to the grocery store. Love and peace, guys. For bro, we ain't gonna have it. So enjoy.